So what's going on, guys? It's TMD13. So as you will notice, I've actually ventured somewhere else. In that, yeah, I'm downstairs. Anyone who watches the vlogs from the playoff 2 years ago now will realise that I'm sat downstairs. And this is my very late Spanish GP video. As always, got my notes on my phone. This is actually being recorded on the Saturday of the Monaco GP qualifying. And once again, due to being a slight dipshit, I've managed to book it so that I can't actually watch the race tomorrow because I'm refereeing. So I'm going to have to watch the Channel 4 highlights again. Not that that's such a bad thing, but, you know, life goes on. Such is life. But before the race had even began, we had some brilliant news on the... I don't know if I've covered this or not. The French GP, Romain Grosjean, will be driving the 2020 Mercedes car. So that he, obviously, Toto Wolff said at the end of the 2020 season, after that horrific crash for Grosjean, that if no one else offered him, he'd offer the Mercedes for him to drive. Well, that's been confirmed at the at the French GP weekend at Paul Ricard. So that'd be brilliant to see. So obviously that's a massive thing. And then another part of news involving Grosjean, he qualified on pole for the Indy 500. He finished second in the end, which, okay, he didn't win, but for a driver who sort of it's his first season in NASCAR in IndyCar, and to qualify on pole and then finish second, and he was leading for a majority of the race from what I've heard. He's done well, and obviously there was a shot that did the rounds of him holding the trophy, and you could see the scarring and from the burns on the back of his hand. So the fact that he's even in a car performing is just absolutely incredible. So Roman, well done, man, absolutely incredible. So on to the Spanish Grand Prix itself. Now, in qualifying, Hamilton took the 100th career pole lap, or pole position, which is a record. He is the only driver which is brilliant. Nikita Mazepin was also given a free-place grid penalty, even though he was starting last. I believe that was for blocking or holding someone up, which, to be thoroughly honest, if you've watched Mazepin at any point in this season, it's not that surprising. Quite frankly, how the fuck he's got an F1 seat, I'll never know. What I do know, it's money. So, to start the race, on lap 8, Yuki Tsunoda retired with an engine failure, which led to a safety car. Giovinazzi came into... and during this period, Giovinazzi came into the pits and had an awfully long pit stop, and it was picked up on the highlights, and everyone was like, well, what's going on? Watching the replay, the tyre that they were going to put onto the car was flat. I mean, you could see it, the bloke or the person who changes the tyre, you can see it went like that, and there's just nothing in it. So quite how that's managed to happen, someone's not checked that clearly. But such is life. Gasly was given a 5-second penalty for stopping on the wrong position on the grid. I believe he was either too far or just... No, I think it was too far. So basically, when you line up on the grid, you've got the boxes that the car's stopping. Well, there's sensors in that picks up where the car is. He stopped, I think it was short. Might have been just over, but either way, he parked so the sensors didn't pick up his car, and it's a slam dunk penalty. There's no controversy within that at all. But, you know, it is what it is. Mazepin then, during the race, decided to piss off Toto Wolff. And this was a bit of a historic moment in Formula 1 because we heard radio from Toto to the stewards, which is something that's never happened in Formula 1 before. and he sort of was complaining, saying, "Well, come on, what's he doing?" Mazepin was slow to get out of the way for Lewis to come by. So Mazepin doing as Mazepin does, or Mazespin, as certain people I know call him. If you know, you know. Now, this is where the controversy really started to rear its head in terms of Mercedes. Now, Bottas was given a team order to get out of Lewis's way because they were on different strategies. And Bottas ignored this and then fought Lewis as he overtook him. And with that, I want to say that Bottas has probably just signed his own death warrant from Mercedes. I will go out on a limb now and say Bottas will not be driving in that Mercedes car next season. I think, you know, it's where I know he's tired of being a number two, in quotation marks, number two driver, but the team has ordered you to get out of the way, and he's ignored it. And to fight his teammate and lose his teammate time, then he's pretty much just screwed himself out of a Mercedes seat, in my opinion. As I've said, I think George Russell will go to Merkel. There are still rumours circulating that Verstappen's going to leave Red Bull to go to Mercedes. If Lewis retires, I really can't see that happening. I'd love to see it, because Verstappen in a Mercedes is a scary, scary fault. But after the race, there was also an investigation that was looking into the flexibility of rear wings. For those who don't understand what I mean by that, to a certain point, the wings are allowed to have a little bit of leeway in it. From my understanding of reading into it, Red Bull and Alpine, and there is another team, and I couldn't find out who that was, their rear wings are structured so that they don't, when they're being tested and whatever, they're rigid, but at race speeds they flex, which in turn gives them more downforce. So obviously downforce is pushed the car down to the ground. They have been investigated, and more stringent tests will be coming in. I believe all teams have it goes for all teams that this loophole, in quotation marks, they've got until France to sort it out, so they can run their rear. They've got to have the problem approved by the FIA by the weekend of the French GP. But as it was, Lewis went on to take the 98th win of his career. Verstappen finished second, Bottas third. And I think, personally, this title fight between Verstappen and Lewis is going to be fantastic. Obviously, doing this video on the day of the Monaco qualifying, I know the result. I'm not going to say what the result is. I am going to predict my top 5 for the race. I'm going to say Max to win. Max to win, Leclerc second, Lewis third, Lando Norris fourth, Carlos Sainz fifth. Although, to be fair to some people, that will have given away how qualifying's gone. But I think overall, the Spanish Grand Prix, for a glorified testing, it's a track that's brilliant for testing. Obviously, a lot of people were talking about the reprofiling of Turn 10, I think it is, which is to make it safer for the MotoGP riders, which, obviously, safety within motorsport, it doesn't matter. If it makes it safer, brilliant. By all means, and by all accounts, from next year, instead of going at the final 3 corners, before the final corner, there's a chicane. Well, in previous years, and I think it was 2006, I want to say, 2007, instead of going through the chicane, you went round the outside of it, so it's basically a straight run onto the onto a straight into the last corner, which then fired you out. So from next year, I believe that they will be they'll be getting rid of the chicane, which has been criticised for ages because it just stops the flow completely, and going back down there, which is brilliant. But as for other news, sadly, the Turkish Grand Prix will not be coming back this year due to a certain illness that we can't say on YouTube because your videos gets flagged. So yeah, we shall call it a certain unmentionable. So the FIA in their Formula One in their infinite wisdom, instead of doing 2 races at Paul Ricard, which has a lot of different circuit layouts, we're going to Austria for 2 races. Again, I'll be honest, I like Austria, but when you have Paul Ricard or Silverstone or Bahrain that has different layouts that are up to standard, why are we going to Austria? That is not a terrible circuit by any means, but 2 races there when you've got Paul Ricard and whatever, it doesn't really make sense to me. But anyway, on to the race rating. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah, overall not a bad race, but it is Spain. It's obviously had some exciting battles and whatever, but just not fantastic. It's just I really don't like Spain as a track. It's a great track for testing, but in terms of racing, it's a lot of time you get the cars 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. So Mercedes, Red Bull, you got it all the way down the grid. Mazepin last. Yeah, no. What can you say? Very quickly before I end this video, and of course thanks for watching. I know there's not been much football content, which is what I'm known for, but it's the end of the season. Dartford's season was none I'm going to link it in the description. Make sure to go and check out Lou's. I can't remember what it's called. I apologise. Lou is selling body shop products, so I'll leave her group in the description. Go and check her out. Give the group a follow. Amazing at what she does. Obviously, prices are decent. Go and check it out because she does a blinding job. I will get her on to talk about it at some point. I'm not doing her justice, but she does an absolutely fantastic job. And yeah, I will be back at a point in the future to ramble about Monaco. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And yeah, well, it's race week and it's Monaco. So thanks for watching, and I shall see you at another point in time. Have a good one.